Yeah. You're listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone, and this is Local Biz Now. I am here with a couple of friends of mine. They may not admit it. Off the air, they might say Joe's okay, but on the air, I don't know if I'm gonna get him to do that or not. One of them is James Sanders. He is the founder and president of
Shared Resources. IT Services.
Right. I got to get a rhythm for that.
Who's the co-host?
Shared Resources, IT Services.
Let me say this.
We got to work on this.
Yeah, so shared resources means something on a network that other people access, right? So if you got a file on a server, it's a shared resources. If there's a printer on the network, it's a shared resource. It made all the sense in the world 25 plus years ago when I said, you know what a great name for an IT company would be?
Shared.
Now I think maybe I should have called it IT company.
Well, certainly a guy like me
off the
has
top of my
no
head.
idea.
And
what
Joe
shared-
still wouldn't be able to spell it. So.
And you
David's fitting right in now.
yeah, you should have seen the first logo.
Okay, as much as I'm not too sure about the name, and I question the owner's capability in telling the joke.
Oh, yes.
I do trust his ability for IT services. And before we dig into this article that you had written, walk me through a little bit about what it is that you guys do, because I met you when you were the IT provider for Cornelius Town Hall.
Yes. Cornelius Town Hall Police Department, North Mech 911 Fire Departments. That was a great contract for a decade. I learned a lot, experienced a lot.
It's kind of the foundation of your business, wasn't it?
It helped a whole lot.
Yeah.
It helped a whole lot. Yes. When people are starting business, think about working part time. I was actually allowed to do that for about 3 or 4 weeks before it really took off. So that was nice. Watched Oprah. Watched Oprah and really sat at home and enjoyed
Your
myself.
office was, literally the janitorial closet. Literally. I mean, he had the sink. His desk was over the slop sink. You understand back then.
You know, it
Gotta do what you gotta
beat
do.
the
It's
back
part
of the van. At least I could invite you into the closet.
I remember you way back then.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Right. Oh, you've made me who I am today, Joe.
Exactly. That's where I was headed. David's rolling his eyes right about that.
Right
oh,
into
man, not again. David, this show has got power, man. It's just unbelievable.
It's the Joe bump. You don't feel it?
Over the month I've already experienced. My phone's ringing off the hook.
I would say 85% of the attendees are probably from Joe.
Hey, it doesn't matter if they are or not. They are now.
Claim it now. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said,
yes, we provide IT services for small to medium businesses. It's enterprise quality, but at SMB pricing.
So put a little bit of words around that. Small to medium size. What's your avatar?
Yes, small is 1.
Okay.
And medium, I think our largest one is about 175 users.
Okay.
Down in South Carolina.
Because a lot of times, I believe that some don't believe they need it yet. They're not to a point where they may need to engage you.
I love that conversation. I enjoy that.
And it's not true, of course, but help understand.
I enjoy that. So this weekend I got called out to a guy that's building out some new space for an apparel company. He's got a beautiful bunch of machines. He's very skilled at what he does. He's established, and he's outgrown the garage, and time for him to do things right. So he's put a lot of money into an upfit of about 3,000 square feet. And the question was, could you come out and look at my cabling? Because of the cabling picture off of Facebook, right? Where I'm holding up 80 pounds of network cables that did not need to be in a closet. And we're taking up space. Yes, so I go out there and meet with him. And as the conversation lasted about an hour and a half, he asked me for cabling, but we walked away with a much, much better understanding how he could do things a lot smarter than what he was doing. Like stop moving thumb drives back and forth between machines, and how to really tie everything together so that you can have what you need at each station and that type of stuff.
Wow.
Set them up for growth and expansion.
And what I want them to hear is they can help. You can help them with their one computer remotely,
Absolutely.
or you literally physically can be in their office or their home office and help them with whatever they need.
That's correct. Yeah, and a client out at the Pines changed their network, the way they run things. They have better segmented resident against resident, so that not all the resident stuff is all in one spot. So it's messed with a lot of people. I went out and handled somebody a couple months ago, but this guy, printer's still not working because he's got a different kind of Wi-Fi thing going on. They have a tighter security out there now, and so that's a 92-year-old with a printer issue, and I am grateful and proud to get to help that guy out with that, because I mean that's like giving
That
back
poor
to the
guy, because you tell him one of those jokes, it could kill him. Okay, most of my co-hosts, I tell them they got to go to the Google, pull up an article, and we talk about it. But you never do that. You always write your own stuff because you a show off.
Publish or perish.
Okay. So you wrote an article, 10 ways a quality IT service provider can increase the value of your company.
Yeah, and I wrote that so that you would have some input, because you know about value of company.
I do.
That's what you do as a trade.
And some of these are kind of intriguing, and I wanted to talk about some of those.
All right, well,
let's start with the very first one. Goodbye Spaghetti Monster.
Yes.
Decluttering your network closet. That's interesting that you say that, because I'm telling you, buyers, that scares them to death when they see that, because they look at this kind of stuff and they say, I'm not going to be able to make heads or tail out of this, or it's going to cost me an extra 2 hours just for someone to figure out where things are. I'm surprised you added that to this list.
I did that because we recently got a client. The network closet sat stagnant for 4 years after the company sold. And so it's 4 years old. Stuff is still turned on. Batteries are still beeping on occasion. Cables are running everywhere.
Someone's like, I thought I was keep hearing something.
And the new office manager says, I'd really like to use that space. I'd like to store some stuff in there. And so we went in and we reduced it by easily 75%. And got a picture of me. Yeah, I got a picture of me handling a pile of cables. So undoubtedly, looking at the simplicity of a network is better than a complicated network when it's time to buy a company.
Okay. Patch, please.
Patch, please.
Keeping your system secure and updated. I hear about this all the time. It's what makes my computer slow down sometimes, correct? Because it's patch after patch after patch. You didn't think I knew that, did you?
You are correct. I'm glad that you know that, because we get phone calls.
I've heard you say this before.
Okay.
You were listening.
You were listening.
It came from you or my brother, right?
Yeah. So Wednesday nights are when we run a lot of updates on the workstations that we take care of. And Thursday mornings, people are like, hey, man, my computer's slightly different. And it's because Microsoft rolls out patches on Tuesday, and we wait a week to watch the rest of the world squirm over what it breaks. And then we put them in place.
So even Microsoft does this, then you've got to clean that up for me.
Absolutely, that's correct.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, Microsoft, they're better than they used to be. But I would say twice a year they roll out something that's just horrendous. And so it's nice to have somebody on your side that knows and sees it times 600 and know what you're experiencing and how to fix it quickly.
Okay.
Yes.
Patch, please. That was number 2. Yes. Number 3, backup plan you actually want to follow. that is so true. I mean, very few of us actually back up what we do. You know what my backup is? I got a new computer, so I leave the old one in the closet. So
I've seen law firms working like that. You are
just in case.
You are not alone. But when you take a law firm that has say 4 paralegals, 2 attorneys, say closing all that data, when the systems are down, they are down. And so a quality backup, you need to have it in place. And if I'm buying a company, I'd like to know that something is already in place.
It used to be manual. It used to be manual, and it doesn't have to. I mean, it can be simple and behind this.
That's right.
Manual's gone now. Right?
I know, but that's old school.
Yes.
So if I'm doing the whole Microsoft Cloud thing now, 360, they've got it, correct? Why you gotta? Was that a joke, David? Did I just tell a funny joke?
a bad business model for sure. And it gets down to business owners not knowing what they don't know.
So when you find that, do you help them create a business model?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what you have to
Things
do.
like multiple streams of income instead of having really just being a contractor to one company.
That's right.
That's not a business.
That's right.
you had a guest. I don't remember who it was, but they came in remotely and they said, "You think you have a great idea? You talk to your friends, and everybody's like, yeah, that's a great idea." And then you say, "Okay, will you help me fund it?" And that's when you find out if it's a good idea.
Oh,
So
well, I don't know.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Okay, you ready? Do it, superstar.
All right.
This article made me think a lot.
Oh, good. That's what I hope. That's what I strive for.
Yeah. We are celebrating 2025 with the top hosts and business advisors I know of. Cherie DeMeo and James Sanders. James Sanders
Superstar.
James Sanders, the president of Shared Resources. Cherie DeMeo is the founder of Biz Growth Inc. And we are talking with Cherie DeMeo. Cherie, thank you so much
You're
for being.
welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So we were talking, and I interrupted you like
It's okay.
I love to do.
That's quite all right.
And I said that some of the things I find are a bad business model during the break, because people don't know this. This is a live radio show, but it's also live on the book and the tube and the
Facebook,
and the
YouTube.
chain and all that stuff. So we were talking, and I said, "Well, if it's a bad model, what do you do?" And you say, "I fix it. I add it." So that's more than consulting and business. So
it's getting people to think like they haven't thought before. It's really, that's what a strategist does.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's difficult for me to describe what you do, because it really is over and above.
Well, one of the biggest compliments that I just got was from James. I got him to think.
That's right. That's right.
That's, taking a step back and thinking in a way you maybe hadn't thought before. That's really
Right.
Because business owners only know what they know. I don't know how to say it any other way. They
That's
only
right.
know what they know. And sometimes they know how to build something, or they have a level of expertise, or they have this long stretch of experience, and that's it. And then they need to run a business.
We will translate that into all life experiences. We'll make that hammer fit for everything we got going on. That's right.
But so many things can be very simple fixes, So like these 7, I'm going to say real fast: cash flow, talent turnover, reactive leadership, operational inconsistencies, customer relationship risk, overextension of resources, and founder burnout. Okay, so
and you can get this entire
article on bizgrowthinc.com 5.0. Yeah.
And probably Forbes as well.
Yeah, and Forbes, this came out in October, and it specifically timed it with the Forbes article on velocity quotient. So the Forbes article on velocity quotient talks about how to create velocity.
Right.
This focuses on all the things that cause velocity not to happen.
James, you see why she's number one. You getting it now?
Yeah. I'm just trying to catch up. I mean, I have more questions than answers.
Taking
I love
notes.
that. Well, and so some simple fixes with the cash flow. I have to talk about cash flow because I can't tell you how many times cash flow is a problem, but it's really not as much of a problem as it appears to be, because payment terms aren't clear. Invoicing isn't happening. Follow-up to invoicing, being paid, isn't happening. Deposits aren't being made. It just goes on and on and on and on to, I am always shocked when I have to call a vendor and say, "Hey, are you going to invoice me?" But it happens more than you can imagine.
Right.
It's like, when am I going to get your invoice? I'm ready to pay,
Right.
but I'm waiting on your darn invoice.
Cherie, that's like a modern day problem. It didn't used to be an issue. Small business people used to bill first and then do the work. But you're right, because more and more they have less people in the administrative side of the business, and it really is the thing they wait to do till Saturday afternoon.
That's
or
right. They try
Sunday
to pull it in
morning.
on the
You know what I
evenings.
mean? You're
That's right.
exactly right.
Right. So cash flow sometimes has very simple fixes. fixes.
Okay, real quick
Yeah.
on that topic.
Yeah.
In here, you say that we should have
9 to 12
months.
Mhm. Of
But I've always
operating-
been taught 3.
Okay.
All right. So I'm all my money as a small business, I'm going into growth. But now I've got to triple the amount
Well,
of.
and part of that, prior to COVID, I was doing national research, and companies that had sustainable growth year over year, just about sustainable growth year over year, and these are companies that made it through 9/11, companies that made it through the Great Recession, and companies that made it through COVID, had higher levels of operational capital in reserve.
I get it.
James,
Okay. So,
and James,
and-
just so you
what-
know,
yeah.
buddy,
what
ju-
can I start doing?
Let me tell
Yes,
you why
sir.
she hit the nail on the head. Because for me, when I'm selling businesses, cash in the bank, which doesn't convey,
Right.
you understand,
Mhm.
it's credibility. She's
Right,
absolutely right.
right.
I
It's
can get a higher
stability.
margin.
It's
That's right.
stability.
That's right.
It
That's right.
shows cash in the bank shows you're planning for the future and any future contingencies.
And then it also tells the buyer that the decisions you were making aren't based on cash flow. It's based on good business decisions.
Right.
So she's
Well,
she
and
hit a
the
nail on
other
the head
thing
on
too
something.
that's really important. This gets at the my view on profitability quotient. That okay, 9 to 12 months worth of cash in reserve, but then you have 3 key ways you're spending your profits as well. So you have to divide your profits into 4 buckets. Certain amount that goes into reserve, call it tithing almost, like you have a certain percentage that you get and build it up to a certain amount, and then you can take money and put it elsewhere. But you're also taking profits and capacity
Like your
building.
friends.
You're all also taking profits and your value building. You're also taking profits and sharing, better. Okay, that goes to talent turnover. Pay your people better, for goodness sake. Pay them what they're worth.
Okay, so for this piece though, to save more this week, and I'm highly suggestible.
Yeah.
You tell me to do something,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do it. So
James is very
Right.
coachable.
Right.
yes,
Right.
yeah, I should start tithing to
Yeah.
to increase the amount of money. I
Right. So set
aside.
a goal. So if you're at 3 months right now, okay, and let's say you want to get to the 9 months, okay,
Mhm.
then take a look at your overall profitability and cash flow, and then determine how long it's going to take you to get to that 9 months, and then you're solid, right? If you decide you want it to be 9 versus 12.
Yes,
So set aside a certain amount that just automatically goes into that reserve.
excellent.
Yeah. And get it built to that. That's what you need to do.
My number is 6 to 9 as a broker that buyers see that and like
well,
that
and
number.
if you Google, they're still saying 3 months.
Right.
And so that's why I'm so excited about the next article that's coming out in Forbes, because I'm dispelling that completely. And I'm basically saying
She's going to move the Google.
I'm moving the needle to get
That's right.
businesses to think 9 to 12 months, because I've proven it. COVID really proved it.
Gotcha.
So she
Yeah.
hit on something else, especially in your industry, but almost every industry. Talent. You've been beating this drum for 30 years, and it really has come true. You want to keep your people, you want to keep them happy. You absolutely have to make sure they're being paid fairly, and
they're also being engaged, because pay isn't everything now.
right.
Pay is
That's
not
just where I was
everything.
headed. That's just what I was headed. They have to feel like they're a part of this.
You know
so,
what?
so I have a question about
I
that.
know.
Is-
I love your question there.
Yeah,
Okay.
in your article, you
Yeah.
say that when anyone starts working with the company, they're not engaged, but they're hopeful.
Right.
And so on the first day, I'm asking, should I bring in Starbucks and a smile, or should I hand them a 500-page SOP and say, stop being hopeful, start being productive?
Okay. So what you need to do is, first of all, you need to orient. Okay, you both sold each other on each other. Let's be real.
Mhm.
Okay, the company sold them on the person you just hired, and the person that just
date.
yeah, and the person that just got
James knows
hired
what I'm
sold
talking
them
about,
on who they were. Right. It was all beautiful. Everything looks beautiful. Everything's rosy and sweet. So now you have to actually practice what you preach. And so it's about, part of engagement is getting people to feel like they're valued from this day they start. Okay. And so part of the way that you do that is you bring your team together and you share what each person is valued in contributing and why this person was brought in because they're going to enhance you. I'm a big believer in strength-based team building, strength finders, and focusing on the strengths. So when people feel valued from the very beginning because they are very clear as to they were hired because they're adding this to the team. They're adding this to the team. And that can even be somebody who's in a receptionist role. That gets at a whole nother article I've written related to valuing everyone's time. But really, when everyone immediately understands why how this person's going to help everybody else do a better job, and how this person is going to help the company go to another level, then they feel like, okay, I'm on day one, I feel appreciated. They actually get what I'm bringing to the table.
So he introduces them and tells them being the rest of the staff, why this person is so great and we brought her on board.
And you also tell that person, so they don't get all full of themselves, you tell that person why these other people are so valuable to what they do.
Gotcha. All right. So number one thing
Does that answer that question?
Yes, it does. Number one was cash flow. Number two is about talent and culture.
Right.
Actually, it's number three. We're going back up to number two, which is reactive leadership.
Reactive leadership. Reactive leadership is making decisions based on what they think is the next best decision versus really knowing what the next best decision is. And so the example I use in my article is an engineering company that we were working with years ago that just wanted to grow 20%. 20% every year. And they were growing 20%, but they were having high turnover. They weren't as profitable. The owner was burnt out, number 7. Right. And I said, okay, 20% is great, but let's just take a step back. Okay, 5% growth in your company is this amount of money. If you grew 5%, what do you need to do? As an engineering firm, well, you'd need to hire a project manager. You'd need to maybe get some lab equipment. Okay, before they would grow and then, we need this. Versus by planning incrementally growth, what that looks like, they were able to take, we need to hire this talent now. We need to get this equipment now. So they became more proactive.
Gotcha. You don't get number one anymore, or the rest of it's going to cost a retainer. I am sorry. We're out of time, buddy. We need to do this again. Cherie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are talking to Cherie DeMeo. She is Biz Growth Inc. Go to her website. It is fantastic. James Sanders, he is a friend of mine, whether he will admit it or not, and the founder of Shared Resources Technology. It is. Play it. Get on it. Yeah. James, it is Monday afternoon, which means
your business matters.
Woo!
Yeah. See you next week. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We have been doing this show going on 12 years strong. We have over 948 interviews. You can see those on our over 748 videos of our YouTube channel. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Please subscribe. I got this massive goal. I want to get to 200 subscribers. I have learned that 200 subscribers on YouTube puts me at 73 percentile. Did you know that?
No, I did not know
That's
that.
right. I want to be the top end of the percentile, you understand?
Yeah.
So I know you're laughing, William, but Cherie can remember when I had one.
I remember when you had one. And
I
it went up.
understand 200 is not Kardashian numbers.
Yeah.
I understand that, William, but for me, I'm doing the best I can to get there, okay?
I love it.
Okay.
I did too.
So please, if one more person, every time I say that, you understand, Tree, I get one more person.
Yes, you do. You
That's
do.
right.
It's
That's
working.
right. It's working. We're getting there, William. We're getting there.
I think I've got 13, so you're well ahead of me. So
Okay, so go to JoeVagnoneBusinessBroker.com and subscribe. We would appreciate it. I'm here with my co-host for the entire month and #1.
Yes.
That is Cherie DeMayo. She is the founder of Biz Growth Inc. and she creates high-performance strategies for exponential growth in business value, preference, and worth. I'm also here with William Bassett. He is the president and founder of Portis Wealth Advisors. William, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
yeah, no, absolutely.
So one more time, William, tell everybody what Portis Wealth Advisors is all about.
I mean, traditional wealth management, right? And we focus and care about, cash flow, tax planning, retirement planning, insurance, estate, and all those things that anybody who has started to or accumulated wealth over their time has to deal with. But then we also take that the next step with a lot of our business owner clients, where we focus a significant amount of time and resources on what they own inside their business.
And that does make you a bit unique, you understand.
I agree.
Most wealth advisors do not focus that much on the business itself.
Well, and what I would like to have William comment on is the whole aspect of he's SEPA certified, which is specifically related to exit planning and all that. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's the Certified Exit Planning Advisor, and went through it, I think, 2 years ago. And again, so many of these business owners, their largest asset is the business that they own. And when they sell their business, if they sell it to somebody, whether it's a private equity or some MBA person or somebody else, that person's going to come in and they're really going to spend time trying to make that business more valuable from day one.
That's what it should happen. That's exactly what should happen.
And what we would like to focus on with our business owner clients is, hey, let's spend 2 to 3 years prior to you selling the business
Yes.
and getting the business to be worth more, so you create that value for yourself. So 2 things happen. 1, you get more cash flow, right? Which is nice. Cash flow is good. And then 2, you sell the business for more than what you would have otherwise, which also happens to be good because that ends up being cash flow too. So
And what I don't think people understand when they're talking to somebody like you and how you're helping them, let me give you an example. If we've got a business that's doing $7 million, that multiple might be 3.5 or 4. Mm-hmm. If you can get them up to 10 million, which is less than 15%, 20% increase in what they're currently doing, all of a sudden that multiples is 5.5 to 6. So they can make more money on their current business by increasing their business substantially. So this is real money that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, it's phenomenal. So, and then you do it 2 ways, right? You do it through growth, which is what we're talking about here today. And then the other one is understanding, how you're spending your resources, right?
Exactly.
Kind of that budget spending plan, right?
Right. Exactly.
So
Exactly. Making what I like to call momentum building decisions.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, you pass off a growing, thriving business, you're going to have a more excited buyer. A more excited buyer is going to give you more money.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
and it gets at one of the reasons that we believe everything is measurable is that when you can show all of those measurables to a potential buyer and then they have all this fabulous data that they can build off of, that makes it even more attractive because they're not having to reinvent the wheel or figure it out. They're literally looking, okay, what's the next level we can do to make this thrive beyond where it is now?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
We're not here to fix something. We're here to propel something.
And William, it's so funny. I just sold a $12.5 million business, and the seller was so happy. And he looks at that nice check, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing that happens, he goes, sits down with the financial planner. Financial planner says, "Well, we could have done this, and we could have done this, and we could have done this, but you didn't. So here's the tax that you owe."
Yeah.
Right? So they need,
that's a really important
it's
point.
It's the story
Yeah.
of my life. They don't call an attorney until 10 days for the closing. They don't call an accountant till after they purchase the business, right?
And then the financial advisor.
These are all referrals that they make, but they make too late. So I want them to hear, if they'll call you early enough, they can plan for this stuff, and it will be so substantially helpful to them.
Yeah, no, it's the reason we created or reason we've got the retainer model in place is we've got a business owner that we started working with a couple of years ago. It's probably a $35 to $40 million net worth client. Prior to us working with him, he didn't have a Roth IRA, an IRA, a 401k, a brokerage account, anything, but 9 different.
Because that stuff for us guys is just a pain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But 9 commercial properties and 2 businesses, right? So it's not that he didn't have complexity.
Right.
And so for us to work with him on a retainer model and say, we don't have to manage assets, we're just going to advise you on the complexity that you've created. Oh, by the way, part of that is when you sell the businesses, this is what you need to be thinking about, right?
Right.
And so we're out ahead of it off of the retainer model, where if it wasn't for the retainer model, we wouldn't have been able to kind of cross a lot of those lines with that client and so many of other clients, right? I mean,
and I say this all the time: you need the information so you can make a good decision. And they have it after they sold. It doesn't really help them.
No, it doesn't. And going back to the whole retainer model, because I use that as a COO on call. Again, that's making an investment in expertise that is going to help that company get to the next level, right? But there still must be that return on investment. So going back to what we were talking earlier, our expertise is on the line every single day to make sure that we are moving the needle for that business owner.
Now you got me. So let's talk about measurement and how that works, because that is so important. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things that we have identified, we actually have a worksheet that we work with on with our clients whenever they're looking. Yes,
Cherie got a worksheet.
I do on everything.
To hear that.
And
William, she's got about 150 that she's created. Justin, these aren't off the shelf. They're custom. I promise you.
Absolutely. Well, and it's just to get the business owner out of that expense mindset. And so we developed this. There's quantifiable measurements, and then there's what we call, basically enhancement measurements. Quantifiable are a lot easier to measure. They're very numbers driven, okay? And so those are what most businesses will be what they believe they can measure. So I want to talk a little bit more about the enhancers. So, if you make this investment, will your business be more able to have more income generating time or income producing time? And this gets at the business owner a lot of times, because the business owner is mired in supporting roles, in sustaining roles that really should be outsourced or hired in so that they can do the more value enhancing stuff. And then we have the aspects of, does it improve your knowledge and expertise? Does it improve your reputation? Does it improve your image? And those are all things that you can measure.
And, one of the things I've been telling people, small business people for years, your database has real value when I get ready to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
And putting that together is a real cost, right? So they don't see the cost in creating a good CRM system, but the buyer does.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's take a break and we'll come back.
Okay.
William, you still with us, or are you going to run out the back door?
I'm still here.
You are listening to Local Biz Now, where you're...
So, Joe, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and we'll get into this.
So thank you, Ron, so much. Steve, I appreciate you being here as well. Steve, I told you before we got started, I've got a woman that's been with me over 10 years. She is an exceptional, sharp woman. She does all of my inquiries. She does all of my qualifications. We've actually tracked that she's done over 6,000 qualifications in her 10-year period. And she watches these shows religiously. And when I told her I was going to be on, the first thing she said is, "Oh, you better start studying because Steve's going to be on. He's the smartest broker I know." And so I'm a little nervous, Steve, and I'm pretty sure Julie is looking for you to ding me a little bit. That being said, Steve, it's nice to meet you.
And Julie is in the chat right now, chiming away. So just want you to know that, Joe.
So I tell people all the time, everybody needs a Julie, because I would not be doing what I do without Julie for years. So Steve, when she tells me beware of you, I am wary of you. So
I don't bite, Joe. I don't bite.
You got my attention. The other thing before I dig into Joe, Ron, I don't know if you know this, but your father is one of the most special people ever that I have ever met in my life. My first meeting as a broker, an official broker, was at a Murphy Business and Financial Conference. And I got there late. The only chair I could see was a table up front. So I just went and sat down, and I sat down next to this nice man. We talked for about 45 minutes. He asked me about myself, and I must have talked for 40 minutes about myself. And at the end, he said, "You'd be a great expert." Well, of course, I didn't know what he was talking about when he said that, right?
Wow.
Because I'm this brand new broker. And I said, "Well, why are you here?" Which is like the first question I decided to ask this nice man, because he was such a listener, right? And he said, "Well, I got to do a little talk. I'm gonna get up there." He was the keynote speaker that day at that talk. So that's how I met your dad. But I got something I wanted to show you. After I realized he was a big deal, I had him take a picture with me
that's awesome.
and sign this, and it is in my office even to this day. And I have actually copied the first, when I became a expert. It was such a big deal to me that your dad had approved me to be an expert, because never up until then I wouldn't have considered myself an expert, right? And so I saved the year, which was 2008. Was the first year I was actually in the book. I wanted you to know that, Ron, because
That's
your father
awesome.
is
Thank
just
you.
a dear man to me. Genuinely, I'm not saying that because we're live. I'm saying that because he is just a wonderful, genuine man. And if there ever was somebody that moved this industry forward, genuinely wanted to help, it was your father. So I wanted you to know that. So where you got me was this word visibility. What does visibility mean in the context of STEM? That's where my mind was like, whoa, this is something I've not heard before.
Right. So when you think of visibility, think of it in several ways. Think hidden figures, but not just hidden figures. So let me give you an example. One of the things that I do in curriculum development is focus on processes. One of the things I learned when whole things about diversity came up was, what are we going to do? And so, what do you mean by that? The way I translated it with my work was I didn't really want to just mention someone ceremonially. If I'm teaching mitosis, right, which is a biology concept, right, I didn't want to mention someone if they had no relevance. So I wanted to go a little deeper and go a little further to see, what is it what people have done? What do people have accomplished? And how can we integrate their own lived experiences and processes
So,
into
Catherine,
this?
we got to go to break. But one thing's for sure, you too smart for this show.
Well, what's so funny is
We can't have smart people like this on the show.
Hidden figures. Joe don't know hidden figures. He was like, you can see his whole face. I'm like, he has no idea.
Catherine, we're going to take a break. I'm going to try and do all I can to keep my brain on this, you understand? Because you talking so far over my head, I missed half of it. But we'll come back. Don't worry, because I'm going to get to the Terminator, ask some questions, and I'm going to get back on track with this. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and your business matters. Stop laughing at me.
Because
I'm doing the best I can.
You better look at the Terminator for hidden figures. You said, the way you said, I know, He has no idea. That is so funny. I'll tell
She
you.
used 3 words I'd never heard before. I mean, what you expect? I got to keep up with this smart woman.
Okay, it's so funny. I'm gonna tell you hidden figures.
Catherine, you're doing great.
You don't have to.
Great.
You don't have to look it up. I will be your interpreter.
Okay, you gonna carry?
So
okay,
Hidden
you gonna
Figures-
carry me through this?
Yes, Hidden Figures is a movie about 4 black women who.
Oh, you had to bring black into it.
I'm just
that
telling
woman
you, that's
didn't
why
say
you don't
one
know
word
it.
about black.
That's why you don't know it. That's why you was like, I don't know.
That's why I missed the whole
You
thing.
missed I saw it. It was a blank.
I missed the whole thing. I missed the whole black thing.
You missed it. And they were the ones who were the human calculators, the human computers back in the day. You have to watch it. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I got you. I didn't hear the black thing.
Because you don't know what Hidden Figures is.
I do. I saw that movie. It was wonderful. My wife was cried and everything.
Tell me about it.
Ronnie cried and all that.
Tell me about it.
She was the woman with the rocket. She was up on the writing on the big chalkboard and everything. I saw that movie.
You saw the commercials. That was on the commercials, Joe. Now
No,
it's coming
I
back.
didn't.
He's like,
She had to run 2 buildings over to go to the bathroom. I saw
Yes.
that.
Yes. Okay.
Apologize.
I apologize.
Give me your
Joe.
insincere apology.
Oh, Joe. I sincerely.
Catherine saying, I can't believe I got on this radio show. How did I
But
get
look
on this?
how long it took him to get it, though. I had to explain it like 3 times, but I'm not going to bring that up. I'm not going to bring that up. I'm going to just say, I'm so sorry, Joe.
Oh, great. Pick on the man that's not black. That's
Yeah,
what you're
well,
doing.
you are black.
Okay. I need more than 007 for this conversation. Yeah. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and I'm doing everything I can to keep up with these 2 sharp, intelligent women here today. I'm here with Catherine Quillen. She is CEO and founder of Visibility STEM. Catherine, thank you so much for being here today. Off the live radio, these 2 women have been picking on me because it's clear I only get about half of what you're saying, Catherine, but I do appreciate it, and I'm sure there's people listening that do get 100% of what you're saying. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Catherine.
having me.
And so if people want to see this unfiltered through me, they can go to visibilityinstem.com. Did I get that right?
Yes. I'm in the middle of revamping that website
Okay.
because part of the evolution of visibility in STEM has been my focus on content creation.
Okay.
And so content creation, what's that?
So what I want to, on the break, Elizabeth was beating me on the back of the head because she said I missed the whole black thing or minority thing that was happening in this conversation.
Hidden Figures.
Did I
Yes.
miss it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So help me get it because I didn't get it because what I'm looking at is an educational system that what she's talking about is for everyone. So I missed the part where this is.
No, it's not. See how
Okay,
he do?
why are you laughing at me?
Look how he generalized, and for black people, we can watch the same things, Joe.
Did I just make fun of the black man again?
Again, and you one of them. Your feelings should be hurt. But you know what? You don't have to have it just black. We all can do it. Like we all can watch Hidden Figures. We all can do it. And I love this that you have STEM and added the A because a lot of times people think that the person that is in STEM, they are not capable of being creative and expressing themselves. My daughter graduated in honors from mathematics and from UC Santa Barbara, so she is the M in STEM. And she's a dancer and she's very creative. So I love that you added an A.
Oh, thank you. There's so much creativity required in STEM.
Yes.
You know,
Okay,
so much
I was
creativity.
going to say, how dare you add art to what I thought was a science direction? Can you describe to me that? Because what I thought, you know, when I went to the Terminator, right? The Terminator did not have art in there, and so I'm curious, right? Because it said science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, right? And so I saw this as sort of science related. You added art. Tell me exactly why you chose to
Absolutely.
do that.
Well, if we took it literally, the Terminator did require some designing and creativity and thinking up, you know, to put stuff together.
Right.
I know that's not the Terminator you're talking about, but um, you know, there's so much. If we took the literal art as part of this work, as I was trying to capture what are some of the cultural capital that we brought, I ended up looking at actually African rock art, literally, and looking to see how scientists from different backgrounds, whether you're archaeologists, chemists, physicists, even historians, they all study this art within their respective field just to really, you know, capture the essence, the nuance, to date it, and a whole bunch of things. So that's the more direct art related aspect of it.
Right. And just so you know, Terry, Elizabeth's husband, is on Facebook. He said, hang in there, Joe. Hang in there, Joe. I'm hanging, Terry. I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm hanging. So I want to ask you a question. Can you walk me through, because obviously if I'm kind of missing some of these points that you're trying to make, right?
Right.
Others are missing it entirely as well, right? So how do you reach people like me? Not that we don't want to connect, but we just are missing it. How do you do that?
Wow. So I do that in several ways. And I've had so many different roles with this. Well, let me just tell you, one of the roles I've had is being one of the, and this is not even related to my business, just to give you an idea, one of the editors of one of the new National Geographic textbooks, which included people from all different backgrounds. And the whole idea is capturing the essence that someone who's doing science might be interested in a completely different question. But how do I reach people? So I reach them in a lot of different ways, taking this holistically. The folks that I've been more recently focused on are actually homeschoolers. Because I'm in a process of continuing to define who my audience is and
Right.
continuing to refine it. But one of the things homeschoolers, you know, look for are ways for students to connect the curriculum at home, you know, what they're learning with their own cultural narratives and lived experiences. Now, the way this benefits everyone,
But it
you know,
also,
go ahead.
it may very well be that you're introducing a culture. Like if I homeschool, I wouldn't know to introduce this. So in fact, it could work in both directions.
Absolutely. and I've
See, I
seen
got
it
that.
work.
It's so
I've
smart.
seen it work in so many different directions, which is what makes this so fascinating and intricate and even creative. It's really taking this and running with it, wherever it goes, per se.
How- I'm curious, because there's so many nuances here. It takes Elizabeth. I know it's why Julie put you two together for me. I knew Julie. Julie knew I couldn't do this interview without Elizabeth,
like,
right? Everybody needs a Julie, right? to keep it-
Everybody needs
so,
a Julie.
But the question is, are there students? How are they interpreting this information? Are they getting these nuances that you're sort of describing?
Are you
Absolutely.
bringing in the black rock art with them?
I have. So let me just say, I've implemented the African Rock Art curriculum I created with graduate students, with teachers, as well as with homeschoolers. But I've also done this on a different level, introducing people who are becoming teachers. And what it's done, I'm actually in the middle of a study right now where I meet with homeschoolers and we implement this. And this one I'm doing right now is actually related to physics. And in this one, I use the narratives and lived experience of a roller coaster engineer to develop this. And so one of the feedback I've been getting from these teachers are fascinated and and they're really surprised by how engaged students are because I'm coming from their perspective, reaching them where they are. And just really helping them to get to know themselves in very positive ways. And they get to see how what they're learning relates to not only the subject area, including writing, and we do a whole bunch of things, math, literacy, a whole bunch of things on drawing, but also related to helping them appreciate themselves, appreciate another culture. That's really the whole goal I'm getting at. We often don't get to appreciate these types of assets from Black culture. And so I intentionally focus on Black representation for that reason, um,
I love
because it's a
that.
nuance people don't get. Sorry. Huh?
I love that a lot because I think when one of the questions Joe asked is, how do you even know about it? How would the students know to ask about it? How would the parents know to ask about it? But I love that you get to the educators. She gets to the teachers first. She gets to the people who are making the curriculum so that they can put it into the curriculum, and that way it's exposed to so many different people. So that's a great point that you're doing.